When it comes to selling, there is a sales step process. Whether you realize it or not, there's a process of selling. First, you meet people, right? You say hello to people, then you find out what they want. And then you show them and tell them about the product that you're offering, whether it's a service or a product. And then you answer any questions. They might have some questions for you. Hey, is this the right product for me? And then eventually you're gonna want to make the sale. This is not so much as a process, this is more like a checklist, right? So when you're going meeting a customer, you wanna kind of run through this checklist to make sure that you hit all points so that you make sure you have the best sales experience for that person. Step number one in this process is saying hello. It's that simple. You wanna say hi, but not just a regular hi, right? We wanna say a warm hi, a meaningful hi. You know, just, hey, how are you? Good afternoon. These are simple things that you can say and people feel. And remember, when you're talking to someone, people can feel your energy. So be conscious of that. When you're talking to people, make sure it's a warm hi. Make sure it's a warm good afternoon or good evening, right? Keep that in mind. People can feel that. The next thing is you want to tell people your name. You want them to know who gave them the best customer service. So whether they're going to the front to the cashier, whether it's leaving to their family and friends and they're telling them about you, helping them, getting and solving their problems. So letting people know your name is very, very important so that people can at least know, hey, I know this person helped me, I'm gonna come back and help them. And what happens is managers and owners will realize that and they're like, man, this person, everybody comes and asks for AJ. Well, that's an indicator that you need to get paid more, right? You have more value than the regular average associate. The next thing you wanna do is give a compliment. And this is huge, right? I mean, you don't have to be fake about it. You can literally look at a customer and find something you like about them. Hey, I love your hair. I love your nails. I love your shoes. I love your pants. Find something that you like. And the reason why you want to do that is people love compliments. Simple as that. And you want to build rapport. You want to make a friend, right? Our goal is to make a friend. And the best way to make a friend is really give them a compliment. From there, now the person is just more receptive to you. They're more friendly to you. And this is kind of a way to kind of break down that wall. When you go to a store and a customer service representative comes to you and say, hey, do you need any help? Usually the answer is no, right? Because you're not trying to be sold. I'm not trying to get tricked. So what you want to do is you want to kind of avoid that wall. You want to break down that wall. And the way to do it is simply making them feel good and become their friend. We have some general idea of what to do, but also what should we not do, right? It's just as important to know what not to do or not to say, right? One of the most important things not to do is don't ignore your customers. Like, this is very simple, it's very easy, right? You don't want to ignore your customers. Sometimes you're working, you're organizing the shelf, and you're busy and you're trying to do the task that your manager told you to do and you're trying to get it done. But customers are walking right by you. And you're not even saying hello because you're so busy, right? Stop, always acknowledge the customer. Even if you're working, even if you're in the middle of a project, to stop and say hello. Hey, how are you? Let them know that you are there. There's many reasons why, but the most important thing is that if they need help, they know where to find you. Another situation, you might be talking to a colleague, you might be talking to your team member, and you guys are running and you guys are having fun and enjoying a conversation about what you're gonna do next weekend. And customers are not too far from you, listening into everything that you're saying. I wouldn't say it's a problem talking and conversating with a team member, but when you see a customer approaching you or in the vicinity, stop the conversation, talk to the customers. That's the people that's gonna help bring in more sales, and it's gonna help you look more valuable to the company. The next thing is don't neglect body language. Body language is huge. Just by your body language, knowing, I look at you and say, hey man, you don't want to help anybody. You don't want anybody to approach you. You want to have an open arm. You want to be welcoming. You want to be smiling. You want to have a good energy. People can feel energy. Be ready to help. Be ready to smile. Be ready to have a good, positive attitude. Next thing is, this is a big one. Don't be on your phone. Look, we're all addicted to our phones. Let's keep it 100. But when it comes to customer sales and customer service, you don't want to be on your phone while there's a customer in the vicinity or in the area. It makes you look like a very bad team member, simple as that. So what you want to do is you want to avoid the phone, especially around customers or around your managers. Now, if you're on break and you have free time and it doesn't bother or hurt anyone, fine. Get on the phone, do what you got to do, answer text messages. But for the most part, you want to put the phone away. You don't want to ignore customers and you don't want any distractions, right? The last thing I'm going to talk about here about the don'ts is don't assume. And one of the biggest mistakes I used to do is assume a customer has money or don't, right? Customer comes in, they're not looking that well. And you assume that this customer doesn't have any money to spend. or you assume this customer might be stealing, or you assume all these different assumptions based on their appearance. You'll be surprised. Some of the people, the customers that I've sold $400 or $500 in transactions of whether it's a hair product or a wig or bundles or all the different products, you may look at them for the first time and say, man, there's no way they can afford that. And in a beauty supply store, we don't want to judge customers. We just don't, because people come to the beauty supply store to look better. They're looking for the products so that they can look better. They're looking for the products so they can be more confident. And you want to help them in that journey. We don't want to judge them. So don't assume anything about a customer, right? You always want to assume that the customer wants the best, most premium product. And that's the bottom line. And remember, these things, very simple. These are the basics of selling. These are the essential things that you need. And when you're learning this, you're going to go through a couple of different phases. The first one is, man, I really don't remember all this stuff that AJ's teaching me. Then you go and you go back and watch the video again. You start remembering the sales step process. And then eventually you're gonna want to practice this in front of your customers, in front of your team members, in front of your managers. And eventually you want to get to a point, it's just like driving. You don't have to think about it, you just drive it.